Jagudev, Hungarian, what role do these spiritual techniques play in Hungarian language and education? Jagudev, yes, Hungarians' unique grammar and poetic structure can challenge learners. Gurudev's Sudarshan Kriya relieves mental tension and enhances neuroplasticity, improving retention. Sahat Samadhi opens creativity. These tools allow learners to connect with Hungarian literary rhythm and explore the nation's rich cultural psyche with enthusiasm and depth. Hungary's philosophical and artistic heritage aligns with the Vedic goal of unity through diversity. Gayatri Japa strengthens focus while Agni Karyam prepares the field of consciousness. Sadhana and Upanayam help learners see their studies as tapasya or spiritual effort. This spiritual infusion transforms Hungarian education into a soul enriching journey. Pashto, how can art of living and Vedic practices support Pashto language and culture? Pashto literature emphasizes honor, courage, and mysticism. Sudarshan Kriya and Padma Sadhana build inner strength and calm, essential for digesting poetic expressions rooted in tribal values. Sahat Samadhi meditation fosters peace, helping students transcend conflict and tap into the inner wisdom of Pashto poetic tradition. Pashtun culture respects valor and devotion. Vedic rituals channel these qualities. Spiritually, Agni Karim sanctifies intention, while Gayatri Japa owns memory and sacred speech. Performing pujas and before study opens sacred dimensions. These tools empower pastoral learners to preserve their rich oral tradition and literature with divine anchoring and moral clarity. How can ancient Greek language and modern learning be uplifted through art of living and Vedic wisdom? Greek gave the world democracy, philosophy, and poetic myths. Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar ji says releases mental noise so students can fully appreciate the beauty and structure of ancient Greek literature and philosophy. Sahat Samadhi meditation bridges intellect and intuition, ideal for decoding the symbolic depth of thinkers like Plato and Homer. Both Greek and Vedic traditions revered sacred dialogue and divine forms, while Gayatri Japa sharpens the intellect, while Upanayanam instills discipline and reverence for knowledge. Performing Agni Karyam and Sandhya Vandanam creates a sacred vibration that mirrors ancient philosophical inquiry. These rituals integrate sacredness into Greek linguistic education. How do these spiritual tools enhance learning and creativity in Zek? Zek language, with its poetic rhythm and historical complexities, can be better grasped when the mind is light and still. Sudarshan Kriya reduces stress and boosts oxygen to the brain, helping learners engage with Zek prose and literature with more clarity and emotional resonance. The Zek intellectual tradition honors resistance and moral clarity. Gayatri Japa empowers the mind to understand subtle metaphors, while Agni Karan sanctifies the act of learning. Sadhana and Upanayam give structure to education. These spiritual tools transform the study of Zek from memorization to inner reflection. How can Kannada, a classical language, benefit from these Vedic and meditative techniques? Kannada has both literary grandeur and spiritual depth, from Basava's Vachanas to Kuvempu's poetry. Gurudev's Sudarshan Kriya awakens the inner silence. To receive these profound truths, Sahat Samadhi meditation brings intuitive access to Kannada's poetic cadence, while Padma Sadhana energizes the body mind for academic endurance. Karnataka holds strong Vedic roots. Upanayam is a time honored right here. Gayatri Japa enhances memory and purity, while Agni Karyam connects the learner to divine light. Performing pujas before literary studies honors the rishis of Kannada tradition. These roots ensure Kannada education is both intellectually sharp and spiritually luminous. Swedish, what is the role of art of living techniques in enhancing Swedish education and arts? Swedish, with its elegance and precision, benefits greatly from a balanced mind. Sudarshan Kriya helps learners become more emotionally attuned and linguistically fluid. Meditation sharpens retention, while Sahat Samadhi meditation helps learners engage with Swedish literature's existential themes with the peace and inner depth. Sweden values nature and simplicity, key themes in Vedic tradition, while Sandhya Vandanam brings daily spiritual alignment. Agni Karyam aligns the intellect to divine wisdom. Gayatri Japa purifies speech and comprehension. These sacred tools help Swedish learners engage their language as both communication and a medium of subtle spiritual refinement. Finnish, how can Finnish be studied and preserved using these Vedic and yogic methods? Finnish, known for its logical beauty and meditative flow, aligns well with the Gurudev's teaching. Sudarshan Kriya enhances breath awareness, critical in tonal languages. Meditation increases focus and emotional steadiness, enabling learners to fully appreciate Finnish poetry, folklore, and musical structure with intuitive calmness. Finland has a strong introspective and nature revering culture. Agnikaram and Gayatri Japa awaken clarity, while Padmasadhana and Shakti Kriya bring internal strength. Upanayana introduces sacred learning rituals. Through these tools, Finnish education becomes not just linguistic, but spiritual, protecting cultural uniqueness with elevated consciousness. Norwegian, how can Gurudev's spiritual tools support learning Norwegian and exploring its literature? Norwegian literature reflects both minimalism and mystical nature imagery. Gurudev's Sudarshan Kriya allows learners to drop unnecessary mental weight and tap into the subtle poetry of the language. Sahat Samadhi meditation builds the calmness needed to explore complex narratives from writers like Ibsen with a clear perception. Norwegian cultural values align with silence and harmony, while Sandhya Vandanam and Gayatri Japa reinforce mental purity, while Agni Karyam prepares a subtle body for higher learning. Sadhana practices deepen reverence for words. These spiritual tools support a deeper emotional and intellectual connection to the language and its literary essence. How do these spiritual techniques deepen the understanding of Tamil, one of the oldest languages? Tamil is a soul language. Its Sangam literature and devotional poetry radiate bhakti and wisdom. Sudarshan Kriya releases emotional blocks, allowing learners to enter the sacred rhythm of Tamil verse. Sahat Samadhi meditation brings stillness to fully absorb. Tirukural is wisdom, or Tirumulars is yogic revelations with the heart and intellect united. Tamil Nadu holds a strong tradition of agamic worship and Vedic rituals. Upanayana is still practiced here, while Gayatri Japa aligns with ancient Tamil mantras. Agni Karam and daily pujas purify space and mind. These tools allow learners to study Tamil not just as a language, but as a divine medium of expression. How can Punjabi education and Gurbani appreciation be enhanced with these tools? Punjabi is a language of devotion, valor, and soul. His Holiness Gurudev Shishi Ravi Shankar Jesus Sudarshan Kriya clears emotional clutter, allowing Gurmani's vibrations to be truly felt. Meditation enhances focus and patience, qualities needed for understanding layered Sufi and Sikh poetry in Punjabi. Padma Sadhana increases stamina for vocal and poetic expression. Gurbani is itself a form of mantra. Gayatri Japa refines pronunciation and elevates consciousness. Agnikaram before recitation helps tune the heart and voice, while Sandhya Vandanam and Sanyam Sadhana of level 1 and level 2 establish discipline. These spiritual practices awaken the divine in language, helping Punjabi learners turn education into a form of sacred service. How can these practices enrich Telugu literature, music, and scholarship? Telugu is known as the Italian of the East for its mellifluous flow. Gurudev's Shakti Kriya enhances vitality and clarity, empowering students to recite and write with a lyrical grace. Sahat Samadhi meditation nurtures a sensitivity to poetic rhythm, helping students appreciate works of Tyagaraja and Tenali Ramakrishna with the inner stillness. Andhra Pradesh's connection to the Vedic tradition is ancient. Upanayana rituals prepare students for knowledge seeking, while Gayatri Japa builds mastery over sound and syntax. Agnikaram and pujas and homas honor divine wisdom. These tools transform Telugu learning into a sacred cultural celebration, preserving its music, script, and poetic heritage. Sinhala, how can Sinhala language and Buddhist literature benefit from art of living and Vedic techniques? Sinhala carries both Sanskrit and Pali echoes, making it spiritually resonant. Sudarshan Kriya harmonizes the breath, helping learners engage with the Buddhist texts with calm and clarity. Sahat Samadhi meditation deepens insight, ideal for understanding the Dhammapada or local epics. Pranayama aids accurate phonetics in a rhythm based language. Buddhist traditions align with Vedic principles of silence and sacred recitation, and Gayatri Japa enhances internal purity. Agnikaram and Padma Sadhana prepare the intellect and heart. Performing pujas before reading ensures sanctity. These tools allow Sinhala to flourish as a carrier of both linguistic and spiritual truth for future generations. How can Croatian be enriched spiritually and intellectually through these tools? Croatian has a rich history in both Christian liturgy and folklore. Sudarshan Kriya clears inner conflicts, enabling students to access deeper emotional tones in Croatian literature and poetry. Sahat Samadhi meditation nurtures the silence within, making the layered meanings in regional writings and songs easier to absorb with their clarity. Croatian's cultural essence resonates with bhakti and community, while Sandhya Vandanam and Agnikaram purifies speech and intellect. Gayatri Japa strengthens focus and pronunciation. Through Upanayana and Sadhana, Croatian learners experience the sacred dimension of knowledge, enabling cultural preservation through calm, reverence, and inner light. How can these techniques help learners of Slovak connect deeper with its cultural wealth? Slovak literature expresses resilience and lyricism, while Sudarshan Kriya enables students to engage deeply without mental fatigue. Shakti Kriya builds mental clarity and energy important for comprehending intricate grammar. Sahat Samadhi meditation enhances the mind's ability to grasp folk tales and poetic structures with emotional depth and joy. Slovak's folk identity resonates with the Vedic chantings rhythms. Agni Karam and Gayatri Japa refine cognitive precision, while Sandhya Vandanam integrates sacred discipline into daily life. Upanayanam turns the act of learning into a yagya. These methods transform Slovak learning into memorization, into sacred internalization. Jai Gurudev, what is the role of spiritual discipline in learning Danish and exploring its literature? Danish's minimalistic precision requires a focused, quiet mind. Sudarshan Kriya reduces distraction, enhancing comprehension, while Sehat Samadhi meditation supports absorption of complex ideas from Kierkegaard or Anderson. Padma Sadhana balances nervous energy, helping students stay alert yet calm while engaging with nuanced text. Danish literature often explores moral clarity and silence, both honored in the Vedic path. Agni Karyam prepares the intellect to receive truth. Gayatri Japa sharpens linguistic faculties, while Upanayana brings a sacred intention to learning. These tools cultivate silent wisdom, essential for appreciating Danish education and literature. Bulgarian, how can these spiritual practices uplift Bulgarian language and scholarship? Bulgarian, rooted in Cyrillic tradition and Slavic folklore, has layers of history and emotion. Sudarshan Kriya harmonizes breath and brain chemistry, creating space for authentic literary exploration. Sehat Samadhi meditation helps one intuitively connect with poetic rhythms, legends, and modern expressions of Bulgarian identity. Spiritual learning thrives on reverence, while Agni Karam and Sandhya Vandram bring daily purification. Gayatri Japa awakens clarity in speech and thought. Through Upanayana and Sadhana, Bulgarian language becomes a medium of dharma and memory, anchoring learners in cultural roots while lifting their awareness. Lithuanian, how can Lithuania's ancient linguistic heritage be preserved and energized? Lithuanian is among the oldest Indo European languages and retains deep phonetic purity. So, Darshan Kriya clears the nervous system for subtle phonetic sensitivity. Meditation and Padma Sadhana increase linguistic intuition, while Shakti Kriya energizes the body, making learning joyful. These practices help preserve its ancient sonic structure. Lithuanian, like Sanskrit, resonates with nature and purity. Gayatri Japa refines pronunciation and inner stillness. Agni Karam establishes sacred space for study. Upanayanam revives reverence for language as a divine tool. These traditions make Lithuania not only a national treasure but a spiritual bridge. Latvian, how can spiritual methods enhance Latvian literary and educational richness? Latvian has a song like quality and deep mythological base. So Darshan Kriya improves emotional intelligence, allowing students to feel the language's subtlety. Sehat Samadhi meditation aids in understanding deeper meanings in dainas or folk songs. Pranayama increases breath control for speaking and singing in this melodic tongue. Latvian myths parallel Vedic cosmology. Agnikaram attunes the brain to spiritual frequency, while Gayatri Japa builds inner silence and focus. Sadhana and Upanayana ensure a sacred context for learning. These tools connect learners with Latvia's wisdom lineage while energizing modern education. Malayalam, how can Malayalam's classical richness be spiritually supported? Malayalam boasts poetic meters, classical texts, and cinematic expression. Gurudev's techniques, especially Sudarshan Kriya and Shakti Kriya, help learners unlock this depth with the mental clarity and creativity. Sahat Samadhi meditation improves narrative intuition, supporting engagement with works of writers like Kumaran and M.T. Vasudevan Nair. Kerala is deeply rooted in temple tradition and Vedic rites. Upanayanam, Gayatri Japa, and Agni Karyam resonate with its spiritual rhythm. Sandhya Vandanam aligns learning with cosmic time. These practices elevate Malayalam study into a form of devotion, preserving classical and modern heritage through sacred discipline. Jagadev, Azerbaijani, how can spiritual tools help in teaching and learning Azerbaijani? Azerbaijani blends Turkish, Persian, and Arabic elements. Sudarshan Kriya brings cultural integration within it by settling emotional turbulence. Sehat Samadhi meditation fosters intuition, helping students appreciate lyrical complexity and historical nuances. Pranayama enhances vocab and vocal stability, essential in reciting poetry or public speaking. Spiritual education brings humility, while Agnikaram aligns the intellect with divine insight. Gayatri Japa clears speech and purifies listening, while Upanayanam and Sadhana encourage structured, reverent learning. These practices help students explore Azerbaijani as a bridge between civilizations while preserving its unique tone and heart. Marathi, how can Marathi literature and education be enhanced with these techniques? Marathi has a vibrant bhakti tradition from Sant Tukaram to P.L. Deshpande. Sudarshan Kriya clears emotional blocks, allowing students to deeply feel poetic and philosophical works. Padma Sadhana and Sehat Samadhi meditation nurture creativity and emotional clarity, ideal for both classical and modern Marathi study. Maharashtra has preserved strong Vedic rituals. Gayatri Japa refines thought and articulation. Agnikaryam prepares learners to receive subtle wisdom, while Upanayanam connects students with the Guru Shishya Parampara. These sacred tools ensure that learning Marathi becomes a means to spiritual elevation and cultural preservation. Kurdish, how can these Vedic and art weaving practices support Kurdish culture and education? Kurdish is a language of resilience and poetry. Sudarshan Kriya helps dissolve trauma and unlock linguistic creativity. Sehat Samadhi meditation restores deep inner calm, making the recitation of Kurdish epics more resonant. Shakti Kriya energizes body mind system to express cultural memory with strength and clarity. In Kurdish tradition, oral literature holds sacred value like mantras. Gayatri Japa and Agni Karyam open the learner's inner ear to such vibration. Sandhya Vandanam aligns language with nature's rhythms. Upanayanam instills learning as tapas. These tools make Kurdish education a soulful journey of identity and inner awakening. Jagadev. Turkmen, how can the Turkmen language and its culture be elevated through Vedic and art of living wisdom? Turkmen carries the rhythm of desert nomads and poetic elegance. Sudarshan Kriya purifies emotional residue, allowing a deeper reception of Turkmen's flowing style. Sehat Samadhi meditation enhances spiritual sensitivity needed to understand Turkmen legends. Shakti Kriya energizes learning without fatigue, ideal for immersive language study. Turkmen culture values tradition and sacred storytelling. Agni Karyam and Gayatri Japa purify inner channels to receive knowledge with humility, while Upanayana and Sanyam Sadhana of level 1 and level 2 prepare students for structured learning through Sandhya Vandanam and Sadhana. The poetic soul of Turkmen finds new life through sattva and silence. Tasik, how can spiritual discipline improve learning in Tasik language and literature? Tasik is rooted in personal literature and spirituality. Sudarshan Kriya rejuvenates the mind to appreciate the subtle metaphors in Tasik words. Sahat Samadhi meditation quiets mental chatter, allowing timeless wisdom to penetrate deeper. Shakti Kriya brings energy and focus, helping students sustain long hours of immersive study. Tasik storytelling is steeped in mysticism, much like Vedic scriptures. Gayatri Japa refines articulation and inner silence, while Agni Karyam reawakens reverence in learning spaces. Upanayanam acts as a sacred bridge between student and language. These practices infuse Tasik education with purity, rhythm, and divine remembrance. How can Kazakh's oral traditions and literature be sustained through these spiritual methods? Kazakh poetry and storytelling are musical and ceremonial. Sudarshan Kriya helps learners resonate emotionally with these traditions. Padma Sadhana keeps the body calm and flexible during long recitations or study. Sehet Samadhi meditation supports deep reflection and insight, ideal for spiritual storytelling and epics. Kazakh culture aligns with Vedic oral transmission. Sandhya Vandanam tunes the learners to nature's rhythm, while Gayatri Japa enhances clarity and resonance in speech. Agnikara makes learning a sacred fire ritual. Upanayana and sadhana anchor Kazakh language education in dharma, devotion, and discipline. Jai Gurudev.